Hello, everyone, and welcome to Meticulous Talks on July 24th. I am Cursor Chords.
And I'm Hithroc, as usual.
As usual, yes, this is going to be our third spoiler stream. Should be familiar with the format by now.
Mm-hmm.
Once again, just in case anyone's new, Hithroc has picked about a dozen cards. I think exactly a dozen, right?
Yeah.
Yes. From the Fond Memories open beta. I haven't seen any of them. I looked at them sidelong as I was putting all the slides together. And we're gonna have a look at them.
Yeah, we'll catch your first impressions.
Exactly. So yeah, that's the way we've been doing it. As I said, this is our third time, so let's just get to it.
Choo-choo.
Okay, and
Forward.
we had noticed that we'd been a little bit purple and white heavy, I think, in our previous one. So Hithroc has picked some pink, I think, to balance that out.
Yeah, this selection doesn't have a single white card, I think, but it has a little purple.
Okay. Right. So Pink Quest, 2 pink, 3 cost 3, 2 requirement. Eager. We'd only seen yellow eager cards so far. No, wait.
No, I think we've seen
That's
pink before.
Yes. Okay, anyway. Eager. When you draw a card, if you've drawn 3 or more cards this turn, you may pay 1 to put this card from your hand into play. Huh, interesting.
So it's like vinyl effect a little bit.
Kind of, yeah. Now there already exists pink decks that love drawing lots of cards.
Yeah. I mean, drawing cards is like pink's thing. It's not unlikely that you'll be able to draw 3 cards in one turn at some point.
Mm-hmm.
Especially with this new eager keyword.
Right, yeah. Eager going at the start of turn. So yeah, if you have an eager trigger, then you're 2 cards already for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you draw the third card, that already triggers this.
Yes.
So even just having an eager friend at home, you can pay to draw and functionally pay 2 to put this card into play.
Yeah. I mean, you get a card, so.
Mm-hmm.
I would say 180 is 180.
I guess so, yeah. Yeah,
I think.
Sorry, go on.
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, I was
Okay.
going to say that, yeah, it's not a great value proposition when you pay the full cost, but
No,
it
not at all.
seems really easy to trigger the other one, so
Yeah.
probably worth it, yeah.
And I mean, this card will probably be at your home at some point and will draw you some cards, so.
Which you'll use to
Might
put
even.
more of
Yeah,
these
we
into
should
play,
put
yeah.
more of it, yeah. I also think this card might be pretty good in draft. And not because drawing is something you do often in draft, but because it is so easy to draw with Eager.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think if you get enough Eager cards in your draft deck, this card might be worth it just because you can pay 1 to put it into play.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you do only get 1 eager trigger per turn. Yes.
Yeah.
But extra draw is really good in draft.
Mm-hmm. Another thing about this card is that the 180 part is a trigger. So if you like draw a card between confront steps or something, can kind of work like hasty, or like at the start of a face-off. Rainbow Shine draws you a card when opponent starts the face-off. That might put this card into play.
That is a very legitimate point. Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, really interesting little card, yeah.
Want to go to next?
Sure. Waifu Basket Weaver. 2 cost, 2 power, 3 rec. Chaos. you flip this card, you may shuffle a card from a discard pile into its owner's deck. Huh, that's interesting. Main phase, banish this card to shuffle a discard pile into its owner's deck. Huh.
Just like that.
So we can't we go from a pink card that seems like it'd be perfectly at home in Living to Laugh to a pink card that kind of exists to counter it. Almost.
Yeah,
I love.
I think this card addresses like the main point that I think right now in core, the only real way to get rid of the opponent's discard pile, at least for a little bit, is school shutdown, right?
Mm-hmm.
And people have been using school shutdown for that. Like school shutdown is like a very expensive juggling routine in a way.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember people using that card like that. So this card is a little cheaper and easier to use for that, I think.
Yeah, I mean if you're playing it like that, it's functionally a 2-cost event that can only be played in the main phase. If you just play for 2, then banish it right away. But you have the opportunity to get some intermediate value out of it too, as being a 2-power friend.
Yeah, but I don't know if I would play this card if I didn't want to use the effect. Like, I can put it on the board to like threaten my opponent, maybe, but they will know it's there and they will know it's coming.
Yeah, that's the thing. If you put out on the board earlier a deck that really cares, is you're just making it easier for them to get rid of it, basically.
Yeah.
Um,
So I don't really think you can use this card much for like as a non-event card, so to say. I think more often than not you just play it and use the effect right away. And hope that you don't remove it before you are able to the main phase thing.
yeah, and that's that's an interesting sort of card design point that this is kind of by making this effect, even though it's primarily going to be used as an event, into a friend that puts one one priority window between its play and its activation. You're effectively allowing the opponent to play a counterspell on it if they want to.
This can be interrupted. That's what basically being a friend means in this case. And GP points out that we're indeed correct, that this card being a friend is in fact a balancing factor.
Fair enough, yeah. Welcome, Grandpa's, by the way. Thanks for showing up. I remember seeing Bugle in the as well. Oh, we have several people here. Excellent. I'm also interested in that chaos text. I don't think it's relevant right now, but I wouldn't be surprised if that becomes relevant in the future. If like chaos decks become a thing again, that sounds like the kind of thing that, well, I mean, it shuffles in, so it's not a really good way to get stuff back out of your discard pile. Or
yeah, and like in the chaos, you kind of want your deck stacked, not shuffled.
Oh, but it's a way to get golden parachute out of discard piles.
I suppose, but like you would need to get it. Like in the same way, you can get any card from the discard. Like yes, you can get cards back.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think golden parachute is like too special in it, or am I forgetting something about golden parachute?
To get the opponent's golden parachute out of their discard pile.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's what I was missing. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's a pink way to remove cards from opponent's discard pile. Then, like we had what's the card name was? Cleaning up.
Mm-hmm.
I think we had several cards like target cards in discard piles, but they usually banish them, and this one shuffles it back.
Yeah, which is kind of a more pinkish way of doing it, anyway.
Mm-hmm. And speaking of like chaos effects, we have Pinky Sense, so you can easily put this on top if you want to, because you're definitely running Pinky Sense if you're playing pink.
Of course you are. Okay. It seems like a really interesting little piece of tech. Kind of attacks a number of different possibilities.
Mm-hmm.
A card I would expect to see in sideboards, not in mainboards, probably. But
Yeah.
yeah, a lot of reasons why you might want it.
Next card.
Next card.
So this one is here to basically confirm your theory,
that this
because
is
before we saw only one of them. Now
right.
you see two of them.
No, this is indeed a full color cycle of entry cards.
Yeah. This one is a dragon too.
Was the last one an Earth Pony?
I don't remember. Let me check.
It was the orange one.
It was, yeah, Earth Pony.
Okay. It kind of makes sense. If we've heard already that this set is kind of giving a little bit more love to dragons and changelings and griffins and such. So take any excuse you can to put more of those tribes in the game, and entry especially is a good way of doing that.
I guess since we know the text of all of the entry cards, I guess I'll go and read out the traits for them.
Sure.
Just give me a moment. So blue is a Pegasus.
Mhm.
Orange is an Earth Pony. Pink is a Griffin. Purple is a dragon, as we know. And the last one, oh no, white is a unicorn. And yellow,
He's a changeling.
yes. Makes sense.
Yeah. So that covers all the bases. I'm gonna be interested to see what Arakat does with this one, because I know Friends Forever felt like it was kind of scraping the bottom of the barrel with a lot of its dragons, so we'll see.
It's gonna be Spike with wings. I know it.
It could be. It could be.
I think this entry cycle is extremely good in draft.
Oh, absolutely.
Because usually you just like put entry cards just because you don't really have anything else to put into your deck. So it's just something you can play. But now you might even consider cutting out some of your primary colors, I think, for some of this entry, just because they're 2 for 3, which is a really good value. Like if you have an Ethy, card in your primary colors, and you have an entry in some color you don't play, you might as well put the entry into your deck.
Could be. I mean, it's been a long time since I had a draft. Well, it's been a long time since I had a draft, period. But it's been a long time since I had a draft where it wasn't just, oh, I have 30 playable cards, that's what I get. But yeah, that's a pretty legitimate point.
Yeah. Also, GP mentions that Pink Quest can be used as an entry too, because it's just a trigger.
Good
You
point.
don't need to pay the requirement. Yeah, it's a really good point.
It was, let me actually see.
2 rec.
Yeah, 2 rec. Okay.
But you don't have to do that if you're using the trigger.
Right. Let me see. What are the good ways of getting 3 draw without having played any pink yet?
Pay 2.
Well, that's that's not the best, but it is. It is a way of bypassing that wreck. It's actually still...
Honestly, I think paying 2 is better than paying 3 to play that card, because you're drawing to like I don't think there is a situation where you would pay 3 to actually play that friend. Like maybe there is a situation, but I think most commonly you would rather draw 2 cards and then pay an extra for the same cost if you have like no other option.
Yeah, absolutely. Anyway. So, yeah, not much to say about these entry cards. We already talked about the orange one.
So GP mentions that you're not just paying 3 to play the friend, though. That's what I mean. There's what I'm saying here is that I don't think there. So I think there might be a situation like that, but it's very unlikely that you will actually ever play that friend normally. Pretty much always you will draw two cards
Yeah,
before, like to play one,
yeah.
which results in the same cost, but also draws you two cards.
Even in the base case where you've got no other card draw in play, it's almost always going to be better to just draw the cards
Yes,
than paying two.
that's the point I was making here. Anyway, next card.
Next card.
It's an ultra rare.
I remember I saw the name of this card and was right away very intrigued.
This card is crazy.
Zippotrix. 4 power, 4 cost, 4 wreck. At immediate speed. Exhaust this card to put a number of critter friend tokens into play equal to the number of critter friends you control. Wowee. Wow, okay, ultra rare. Okay, makes sense. That's big. That's a big deal.
Pegasi Royal Guards had nothing in you.
Kind of.
And this card has a creature trait, as GP says in the chat.
Oh, this card is a critter as well. Oh,
Yeah.
and probably something else I imagine is unique. That would make a lot of sense. I would hate to have more than one of these in play at any given point. Well, I mean, I would love to if I was playing them.
Yeah, so double your critters every turn.
Yeah, double your critters, double your thorax power. You have lots of critters. Let me see. What could care about having like 10 critters enter play all at once?
Problems.
Problems, yes. I mean, they could quite legitimately have more than one power each. Various effects can accomplish that.
Since it's immediate, you can use it to challenge a troublemaker where you don't have any friends.
That's true. And this actually, this is the kind of effect that blue has a number of ready a card things now, right?
Uh, I don't think they're like easily usable.
Yeah, maybe not a number, but they do have some. And for an effect this powerful, it might be worthwhile.
So yeah, to me this card seems like remove on site. Like they play it immediately belly flop
Yeah.
before it exhausts.
Oh, gee, like in Thorax Orange, this is so silly because those are all going to stay at the problems too. Oh my goodness. Yeah. That is a huge bomb for yellow.
Speaking of Pegasus Royal Guards, they trigger when a third friend enters play, right? Or something like that?
It
Or
enters
was
play
it
or
the first?
plays?
Let me check.
Right. It might be. No, there's no way that enters play.
When one of your friends enters play, if that friend was the third friend, so it is enters play. So this card pretty much guarantees to. I mean, as long as you have like two critters, three critters, I suppose. This card guarantees to trigger Royal Guards as well.
Yeah.
So you double not only critters but Royal Guards. But to be honest, like I think doubling critters is more valuable than doubling Royal Guards.
Mm-hmm.
Because after all, they're critters, and critters can get crazy high on power.
Mm-hmm. And they'll make more critters if this somehow survives to your next turn.
Yeah. The way this card can survive is you play the Tricorn Thorax, which retires critters if your things get removed. So you have this card as like your token engine, and Thorax as the protection mechanism.
Wow.
So yeah, fun.
I mean, that's some pretty heavy cards as far as yellow is concerned.
Yeah.
But now I'm thinking like maybe you go yellow pink so that you can flip them into play with that Fluttershy. Anyway,
Maybe. Or maybe you just don't play yellow. Oh no, this card has critters. It doesn't really go into Reanimator, I suppose. Reanimator doesn't run that many critters. Never mind.
but yeah, super interesting card.
Mm-hmm.
I'm also a little bit interested. So we had the white ultra rare resource that we talked about last time, right?
Yeah.
And then there was a blue pink ultra rare card from the initial reveal?
Was there?
I think so.
I don't remember. Let me check the spreadsheet.
Yeah. It was called 1-2 Punch, or at least that was the testing name, I'm pretty sure. Which, if that's the case, and I'm pretty sure it is, that makes me wonder of what the ultra rare structure of this set's going to look like.
Oh yeah, that card with like a lot of keywords in it.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Because it'd be a little strange to include one dual color UR and not, well, several others.
Have we even had like dual color URs before? I
Well,
don't think.
not in
Other
this.
than tricorns.
Well, I mean, back in like the EO block, there were like a few sets in a row that eventually filled out one UR for each of the dual color pairs.
Oh yeah, I remember now. Yeah, there are multicolor URs. Never mind. Like that the orange yellow Applejack with like boots.
Correct. Yeah. It makes me wonder if perhaps Sim's going to do that again, and eventually over the course of the next 3 sets give us one ultra rare for each of the dual color pairs.
We'll see.
But yeah, excellent card. This here yellow thing.
Yeah, seems pretty good.
Nice card.
Yeah.
Okay. Purple pink. Or pink purple, perhaps. Go to the corner with 2 power, 2 cost, 3 Rex. Hasty. When this card enters play during a face off, end that face off.
Haven't seen this effect in a while.
Well, Ember was the last one.
Yeah, but before Ember was like
Before Ember, yeah.
absolute discord.
Yeah, I think so. So 2 AT, face off ender.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, well, once it's in play, okay, obviously Portal's banned. That Trixie card isn't hasty, is it?
No, I don't think she is. She's
Right,
main phase, I'm pretty sure.
right. So there's very few ways to make this re-enter play once it's in play.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at Harmony, there's Discord that you flip, which Portal is a thing.
Mhm.
And given that Pink has like easy way to put things on top of its deck now, getting Discord on top of the deck is not a problem, but that's in Harmony. In Core, I don't think there is a way at immediate speed right now. Maybe I'm forgetting something. Like there's Luna's Futures, but it puts it at the end of the turn, which is not useful for this card.
Right.
Maybe there's something else I'm forgetting. But in Harmony, there are plenty of ways. There's the Flip Discord, there's the Party Clasher Discord, some other things that also exist.
Yeah. Well, I mean, even without abusing it in that way, shall we say, 2AT and a face-off is pretty good. That's well, you probably see that in control decks most of the time.
Yeah,
I
that's better
expect.
than Cheerly. Like the Absolute Discord Cheerly, she costed 2 and she ended face-off when you retired her.
Mhm.
So this is much better because it's hasty, you don't have to play it in advance. And same 2AT, you don't have to retire anything. I would agree that it probably goes into control to like stop face-offs against troublemakers or double face-offs.
It's a good, well, it's a slowdown tool against farm as well.
Yes, so that's what I was about to mention. Like
Oh,
it
yeah.
might be a good sideboard card against farm. Yeah,
Hmm.
it could be a good card in chaos control too, I think. But it is a control, so I guess it still falls into control umbrella.
Yeah. Yeah. It'd be good to have purple pink get back to being a good control set of colors. I feel like it's been too long since there was good control around.
We want BRB to be right back.
Or, well, whatever its successor is.
Yeah. I mean, it's not like Cheese has played pink, purple, white for the last several years.
No, not at all.
Right?
But
Next card?
yeah.
Oh, you want
No,
to
no,
hit
no, no.
something?
I was about to say the same thing. Next card. Okay. Pink yellow. Life of the party. 2 cost, 2 power, 3 rec. Eager. Now what that does. When you retire this card to your home limit, draw a card for each of your characters at home. Hmm. That could potentially be a lot of characters.
Yes. Remember that critter doubling card?
Just thinking about it, yes. Now, granted, if you're retiring to home limit, you're about to process hand limit very soon. So there is somewhat limited utility in drawing 10 cards or whatever. But I mean, you do still get to decide which 7 of those, or wait, is it? Oh boy, you can tell it's been a while since I played the game. Is it 7 or 8?
7.
7, yes. Which 7 of those is worth keeping?
Maybe 8. Oh no.
Anyone in chat, help us out here.
I mean,
I think it's 8.
I think it's 8, yes,
Yeah.
because the card that increases your hand size to 10 increases it by 2. So 10 minus 2 is 8. So yeah, I think even though even if you process the hand limit, I think the primary application of this card is Living to Love.
Right. And I think, yeah, GP mentions there aren't, yes, priority windows can't open or don't open during that step, right? It's that whole, like, you do the thing, and then
Yeah, you can't do things, but you still process triggers. Like I
oh,
think in the rules, that's how Spitfire works. You discard a card, you discard Spitfire, you draw a new card. You're still at the hand limit. You discard the next one, and so on. I think in the rules, the rules kind
right,
of
but
dance around.
the trigger process is after you've retired all your home limit stuff, and so you're not going to be able to draw 20 cards or whatever off of this. Is what Grand Plaza is saying. I'm pretty sure.
Ah, well, just play bats or something like that.
I guess. But yeah, you're definitely correct about this going very nicely into Living to Laugh.
Okay, yeah, but if it works the way that GP describes here, that you draw only after, like you draw for how many characters you have after retiring, then this card is kind of like Gabby in a way. You know, Gabby that draws you like up to 4 cards.
Mm-hmm.
After a face off, like maybe you're running out of gas, you can get rid of this card from your home limit and like refresh your hand.
Yeah, easily done. Usually, well, if you've just DFO'd, then presumably you played some effective cards to make that happen. It's the time that you most want to get things back.
Yeah.
And since you're retiring stuff to home limit, well, I guess you retired this, so you don't necessarily have an eager friend in play, but
Oh, you might have another friend in
Yeah,
play.
and then you draw another one at the start of your next turn. Another card, that is.
So GP calls out that the like playing bats for card that has to be retired. That was the point. So you wouldn't be able to retire this card if you play bats. That was kind of the joke. But
Right.
you can have that card that makes your critters stay at home.
Mhm.
And oh no, we've just seen a card that doubles your critters.
I get the sense that you might have chosen these cards specifically to go together.
Maybe. I mean, you still need to okay, if you draw your entire deck, you'd still need to generate enough critters to do that, and that card is kind of expensive.
Mhm.
So I don't know if there's a deck around that, but maybe there is.
It's nonetheless interesting to see some pretty powerful effects get thrown in, even if they
Yeah.
don't necessarily add up to an amazing meta deck. Well, they're still useful to have.
Yep.
Oh yeah, I've been, well, I guess with the exception of that purple entry card, I've been very impressed with everything that I've seen so far today. So
I think purple entry card is impressive.
it's not nothing. I mean, I guess, yeah, I was pretty impressed with the orange one when we first saw it. So same amount. Anyway, moving on.
Yeah, we're moving on to events now.
Events. Okay, raise this barn. Our next of the set of songs. What was the first song that we saw?
It was a white song.
Oh, was it becoming popular? I think it was.
Yes.
Okay. 6 flip, 3 cost, 3 orange wreck. During the main phase, put a +1 power counter on each of your characters. Then, oh, interesting. Then choose one. Each player puts the top 4 cards of their deck into their discard pile, or exhaust an opposing main character, and that character doesn't ready during its controller's next ready phase. So I'm interested because that other song had the same structure. It was do a thing, then choose one, A or B.
Mm-hmm.
And I know there's another song coming next. I'm going to guess that that's the same structure they're using for all the songs in this set.
We'll see.
Yeah.
In about 5 minutes.
So anyway, 3 cost. So 3 cost to put a +1 power counter on each of your friends. We already had an event that did exactly that, right?
I think no. I think if you're thinking the one with who has Grubber on it from Sequestria, it put a +1 power counter for I think everything that was involved in the face-off.
Hmm.
We also have the Unity Applejack, which puts a power counter on everyone, but I don't think we have an event that does that. That just straight up puts 1 power counter on everything.
Give me a second. I don't remember. Oh shoot. Shoot. Sorry. Yes, there we go. Thank you, Utopia. Taking care of business. That's the card that I was thinking of. Yeah, it's got Filthy Rich on it.
Oh yeah. But yeah, that one is put +1 power counter on each of your characters involved in the face-off.
Right. Okay. So
It's just face-off.
still, yeah. Okay. And in any event, that's only part of what this card does anyway. But for 3 AT, that's still not quite good enough. So then the next part comes in. Either everyone mills 4 or super exhaust the opponent's main character. Which there are well, okay. Exhausting opponent's main character isn't going to be super useful all the time. Great against farm, always. Usually pretty good against aggro decks, especially if they have a stick out.
Okay, hold on.
Okay.
You said that for free AT, this first effect might not be it's not good enough that we need a mode, but I want you to reconsider that statement because if you look really closely, this card says put a +1 power counter on each of your characters. It's not friends, it's characters. This permanently increases your main power.
That is a very good point.
I
Decks
would play
usually
this
go
card for free
to
AT.
extreme lengths to put +1 power counters onto their main characters usually. So
I think for free AT, this card is really good even without the modes. Especially if you play orange-yellow and you have a bunch of critters. Other than your main character having +1 power counter, also all of your critters have +1. I think the effect is really powerful by itself without the modes, and the modes are kind of extra.
That is, yeah, I can see that argument. Because these, I guess that's good because I was just thinking these modes are kind of marginal. Exhausting the opponent's main is a pretty good default option, but isn't necessarily always going to be relevant.
Yeah.
And
Milling is super situational.
Yeah, I mean, it might be what your deck does, but yeah, situational. Yeah, that's a very good point about the characters thing.
Yeah, so taking care of business also said characters, but the reason it wasn't as good is because, first of all, it costed free AT, and it also needed, the characters needed to be involved in the face-off. So it's not just straight up everything you have, which is, I think, a huge difference.
Yeah.
And what I like about this is that even though it increases power of your main character, it's probably not as good in Orange Farm, right? Because, free AT is a big cost to just get +1 power. So this card scales with whiteboards, and farm is usually not about whiteboards.
Exactly the opposite generally.
Yeah. So I think that's an interesting balancing point here.
Yeah. Well, if I recall, the white song we saw was also pretty goodish. So good for orange. And
next one.
Yeah. So I remember the next one's called "You'll Play Your Part." I'm gonna guess right away that it's purple. All right. Fair enough. Thank you, by the way, Sim. I mean, this is one of my favorite songs. So
my favorite song is still not in the game. Very sad.
Wait a second. I think I know. How many songs did Trixie sing? Not that many, right?
I mean, she sang only 2. One of them is in the game, and the other one is Equestria Girls, so it's not gonna happen. But my favorite one from the show is neither of those.
Interesting.
Anyway, this card.
Anyway, sure, yeah. You'll play your part. Same. Those are the same numbers, I think. 336. Are those the same numbers that were on the White Swan?
I think so.
Interesting. Okay. Main phase. Gain 1 AT for each of your Alicorn characters. Then, either look at the top 5 cards of your deck and put them on the top or bottom of your deck in any order. Not bad. Or banish up to 1 card of each type from your opponent's discard pile. Okay, so a little bit narrower in terms of application. I mean, this is going in an Alicorn deck specifically.
Yeah.
But given once upon a time, Alicorns used to be big and expensive. Nowadays, all of the Twilights are Alicorns. So, it's conceivable.
Oh no, what happened?
You could easily have 3 or 4 or more of them. So this this in the right deck, this is going to be AT positive most of the time, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And any event that gains you AT is worth playing, I imagine.
Yeah. At least more than one AT, I suppose.
Yeah.
Although in this case, you don't just get the AT, you also get the song part,
Right.
and stacking top 5 cards is pretty good, I would say.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, I look at this and see like potential AT gain. Event doesn't banish itself. Good look at top 5 cards of your deck. I'm thinking combo here.
Oh, Capper combo,
Maybe.
finally a reality.
It is even cost. Or even power.
All right, next week on Meticulous Talks, we'll be presenting you.
No, I don't know. It's just a thought.
Yeah, I mean, the only problem here is that like getting things back from your discard pile is kind of hard.
Right. Intentionally so, I'm sure.
Yeah. So what we're saying here, I'm just clarifying for Sim, is that we want f-stop back.
No comment.
I mean, wouldn't that fit the fond memories theme?
I mean, it would, to some degree of the term, I guess.
Maybe not fond for some people, but memories nonetheless.
But yeah, seems relatively straightforward. What kind of deck this goes in? I actually wonder. Does this go
This could go.
in my orange deck? An Alicorn main, restricted section. I think it could probably go in there.
Can try.
Yeah. It'll appreciate the. Well. Anyway, yeah. It seems like a reasonable choice. Another event for the discard pile, if nothing else.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, really cool
Next
card. Next card, yes, sure.
Yeah.
Break Free, colorless event. Cost 2, flips for 4. Main phase, choose a problem. Till the end of the turn, troublemakers don't prevent you from confronting that problem. And while your main character is at that problem, you meet its confront requirements.
Finally, you can confront Fire and Ready again.
Exactly what I was thinking about. You do still need to turn off the problems text, but there are ways to do that now.
It's much easier. Oh well, there were ways of doing that before too, but
yeah.
Spring Step, I think.
Spring Step was the card, yes. But even so, and a number of problems out there now that it's great to be able to confront with just your main character. Is it honestly? It seems like the kind of like, obviously, farming decks are gonna presumably beat the troublemaker.
Yeah.
But does this work in them as kind of a backup plan? Like, say you lost the face-off, okay, I'll just and if the opponent's stuff is there, you can just have like a single face-off. Maybe that doesn't make any sense.
That can work if they blocked you with like Squizard and you can't play your own troublemakers. And you can't defeat the stupid Squizard, so you can do that, but that seems a little far-reached, I would say.
Yeah, okay.
But I think that's a great sideboard card for many decks which hate troublemaker control.
Reasonable point. Yeah. I should after the stream. Well, I have other things to do, but at some point, maybe this week, I want to look at what the average confront requirement for problems is for these days. Because
I would say about 6.
6, yeah, which means that if your main is flipped and it's at a problem, this is kind of equivalent to a one-use staff that
Yeah.
also pierces troublemakers. Hmm. I mean, yeah, seems certainly in a world where more troublemakers are happening, which is not this world, but could be the next set. Yeah, definitely a card that you might want to have around in your sideboard.
Mm-hmm.
All right, next one.
Right, next card. Yeah.
On to the resources. Golden Horseshoe. 1 cost, 3 blue. Accessory. Goes on one of your characters. Exhaust this card to move one of your characters to this card's area. When this card readies, you reattach it to another character.
Reattach. That's a word I haven't seen in a long, long time.
True. It's true. Not since. Definitely. There was something in EO block, I'm sure, that used it, right?
There might be something in EO, like the set, not the block.
Right.
I don't think there was anything after EO.
Uh-huh.
And before, like in Premier block, there are a couple like cards in Premier, I think.
Yeah, I know there's a few premieres. Anyway, okay, so it's a 1 cost move the turn you play it. And then the next turn it's a free move if it's still,
If there's a character already there.
yeah. Well, yeah, if there's any character at the place you want to move another character to, then it's a free move on your next turn. Which seems like that would happen often. I mean,
I
yeah,
don't know about often, but
the big counterexample is if there's just been a DFO and everything's at home, then it's not a free move.
yeah.
Unless
Go.
you need there to be, okay, readies happen before you can do anything, right?
Yes, it's you gain AT, then you ready all the cards.
Yeah,
And
so
there's
no way to hasty a thing into a problem or anything like that.
no.
Well, unless you do it unless you do it after everything gets sent home on the previous turn, I guess.
Yeah. So I'm clarifying here what we're saying is that we want day shift back this time.
Yes.
But this card faces kind of the same problem that Octavia main usually has, right? Octavia main is a really good main as long as you have a single thing at the problem you want to confront.
Mm-hmm.
But if you don't have anything at the problem you want to confront, it's kind of less.
Yeah.
Less valuable, and this card has the same deal, I feel like.
Yeah. As long as you're intending on moving something, well, okay. As long as you're intending on moving at least 2 things on the turn, you can still get value out of it. You put it on the thing that you're going to move first, move it first, move the next thing. So it's not that hard to keep getting your money's worth out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it is an accessory, so good with white. GP asks, why don't we think you can get a value over multiple turns? 180 moves any character to the best location.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's.
Yeah, I mean that's what we're talking about. I think.
I think so. I mean, yeah, we've spent some time talking about the post DFO situation and how to best take advantage of that. But yes, if your stuff is staying at the problems and you're kind of slowly building up, then yeah, it's great. That's the best case scenario for it. Essentially 2 free AT every turn. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, so
Sorry, go on.
this card works kind of like we had those Conga cards that like you move this card and move another thing to the same problem.
Mhm.
This card is the same, but like you can choose who is the Conga friend now.
Yep. Character, actually, potentially.
Oh yeah, character. And I mean, I know back in the past, like decks really liked those Conga effects. They were quite powerful
Mhm.
for moving a bunch of things around. So yeah, I think this can be pretty good. But it is a resource, but it's only 180. So who knows?
Yeah. For 1 AT and a chance to get potentially quite a lot of value out of it.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, yeah, I can imagine a relatively broad array of decks would be willing to include this. In
I mean, it is.
particular, if you've got a lot of movement synergies,
Yeah,
which Sequestria was the set that did that, so they're
I
all
think
still in core.
as long as you get like 2 moves out of this card is like worth playing.
Mhm.
One move is you pay 180 to get a move, but you also spend the card on it. So I don't know about one move, but 2 moves I think it becomes worthwhile.
Yeah, I mean, so I'm imagining you pair this up with like pirate ship.
Yeah,
Seems like a great card for orange blue. Cheap move, big stuff.
yeah.
Make profit, win game.
Be even better if it was immediate. Perhaps there's a reason it's not an immediate.
Perhaps. Anyway,
Anyway, next card,
next card.
also blue.
Blue purple. Twilight Sparkle's Balloon. Another one coster, 2 Rex. Play to your home. When you move a character, look at the top card of your deck. And put that card on the bottom of your deck. Interesting to me that blue purple resources seem to have a thing of being Twilight's mode of transportation. Because Pegasus Chariot was a blue purple resource
Yeah.
too.
Daring Duposter is not really transportation.
Okay,
Though.
fair enough. Fair point. Only 2 cards. There's not a pattern.
maybe it is a pattern. It's just started recently.
Anyway, blue purple. As mentioned, blue purple is a color combination that has a lot of movement synergy.
Mm-hmm.
And Scry 1 or Meticulous 1, however you want to call it, on every move. That's potentially a lot of moves.
Well, it's not a lot of moves. It's a lot
Well,
of meticulous.
it's a lot of that. It is because this is counting both yours and your opponent's characters if you're the person moving them.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so okay, this will trigger same days. Top card back on top, yes. Blue purple. Those decks do usually have cards that you. Well, I mean, every deck has cards you want to search for, but
Don't we
ones.
have a card that moves something when you put a card on top of your deck? Which was also blue purple?
Not sure.
I don't remember if there were any restrictions on that card. Let me check. Yeah, so Dr. Hooves, Vice Head Stallion Applicant, blue purple 1 rec. When you put a card on top of your deck, you may move this card. So with this resource, you can move Dr. Hooves indefinitely.
Okay. So yeah, GP points out, and it's true. This doesn't put cards on top of your deck. You look at the top card of your deck, and you can put it on the
It
bottom
doesn't.
if you like. Yes.
Oh, so that's why it's worded this way to ruin my fun. I was wondering, like, why doesn't it say put it on top? You may put this card on the bottom only. That's why, and also probably same day delivery.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. But
Okay, Fun Police came.
but still, very good deck filtration, especially if you have a lot
Yes.
of a lot of moves happening, which you very well might.
Yeah, I mean, even without like all of the put on top of the deck synergies, like Meticulous effect by itself is pretty good, and you blue purple can do a lot of things. It can go like a little into aggro, it can go a little into control, and like in other case, stacking the top of your deck is a pretty good thing.
Yeah. I just had a thought. In Harmony, does this help? I assume this helps a lot, the various shenanigans you can do with Ace.
Does it?
I don't know. I mean, that's an infinite move.
Yeah, but like, okay, so within Infinite Move, you can't really filtrate your deck, right? Because you only look at one card at a time.
Right. As soon as you see a card you want, then that's it.
Yes, yeah, that's it. You can't go any further. You can go through your entire deck to see the order of the deck, so you can do that with Infinite Move. But other than that, I don't think there's. But like order of the deck is pretty good.
I guess so. Yeah. Anyway, though, relatively, excuse me, relatively clear synergy.
Mm-hmm.
And another very cheap resource. A little bit harder to do the math on when exactly it pays for itself, but should get there relatively quickly. 1 AT is not a lot.
Yeah. And it's unlikely like someone will remove this resource, like, oh, he played this resource, I must remove it immediately, because it doesn't seem like a threat.
Yeah.
It's like a sneaky one. It's good, but like they would rather remove a stick or something.
Absolutely, yes. The era of just saying, oh, whatever, I'm gonna play Meadowbrook eventually, it'll go away. That era is gone. That era is over.
Oh, I'm so glad it's over. I can rely on my resources again. Anyway, last card.
Sure. Oh yeah, the Troublemaker, I think, right? Yes. Blank Flank Enabler. 4 power, 0 points. Your friends with no play requirements have +1 power.
Okay, so here I'm calling Fun Police again. Are friends with play requirements of 0 the same as with no play requirements?
So you're thinking of using like the
High magic entry.
the high magic banish set to reduce
Yes,
requirements?
because they say all of your cards have less requirements. They don't say only in your hand. So it's like all of your cards that includes play, deck, whatever. They are not the same. I called it.
Okay.
So yeah, unfortunately, those do not work for this little silly effect.
Only friends that have nothing printed in that part of the card.
Yes.
So still, well, lately, constructed decks, generally speaking, don't have a whole lot of those in them. Because generally speaking, these days we do other things to get into our colors.
Yes. Well, so all of the tokens don't have requirements.
This is true.
So, like, if you're playing control, you could have like unicorns have more power if you want something like that, or all of your creatures could have more power.
Yes.
Although I don't think, yeah.
Well, I was just gonna say this is Zippotix the stream clearly.
So yeah, but would you play a troublemaker in the yellow? Just temporary power to your creatures? I don't think so.
I mean, It's 0 points.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a 1-turn delay, fast food.
Yeah, but it's only like fast food that like lasts for what, 1 turn, 2 turns?
Mm-hmm.
Because you're not going to play the control game in the yellow deck that likes power on their critters, right?
Never. Yes. Hmm.
Yeah, incredible and limited
Amazing card in limited. Yes. Let's not.
though.
Let's not. Yeah. Limited decks, chock full of those. 0-point troublemaker. Yeah. That is a very strong card in limited.
Yeah, dropping this on turn 1 and limited could be really devastating. Especially if you have like actual cards you can play afterwards. Especially if you have those cards that like if you don't have a color, pay 1 less for them. So that's like 2 AT 4 power friend.
Right. Exactly.
Ouch.
Hey, you throw this in, and you're also drafting Crystal Games. Suddenly, that entry is like actually not awful.
Finally, you printed a fix for Crystal Games. I'm waiting for the draft announcement on Everfree. It's gonna be 2 Crystal Games and 2 of this set.
Yeah. Utopia with an interesting suggestion. True colorless deck. I mean, it's been impossible to do that forever, basically.
I mean, no, if you mean true colorless, you mean like all of the cards without color specifically?
Yeah.
Like not aloe? Then I don't think there is that many colorless cards, right?
Well, I mean,
There are some.
you can put as many troublemakers in as you want, though.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Like, you won't end up with a functional deck, but you can theoretically build a colorless deck.
I will make it functional. But yeah.
I remember that was I did that once. I built a deck that was just 45 troublemakers and a main. Never actually ran it, but anyway.
Sounds like something that you might actually encounter in Silver Spanner.
But yeah, I think we've kind of distilled down the essence of this one.
It's a pretty simple troublemaker.
Yeah. Of
Yeah,
how many troublemakers have we seen so far this set? Like 3?
3, I think, yeah.
Right. Expect there to be maybe 2 or 3 more of them, given the size of the set. Maybe 4. I mean, well.
You're undershooting a little bit, I'll tell you that.
Oh, really? Oh, interesting. Well, then, good. As I said, pretty much everything that I've seen that I saw today was very interesting, and had a lot of interesting ideas that came off of it. So if there's more, great. That's all I want to know.
Yeah, I mean, all of the cards we've seen today were pretty cool, as was true for the previous streams. So yeah.
Yeah. So before we go today, do just have some quick housekeeping announcements to take care of. For those of you unaware, which I can't imagine is anyone in this stream's audience, but for those of you unaware, Everfree Northwest is taking place 3 weeks from now. Unfortunately, neither of us are going to be in attendance.
Nope.
But we will be there after a fashion. Because we are both going to be doing the commentary duties for Commentary with Magic's streams. We shall be the eyes in the sky, passing judgment on all of your mistakes if you're at the stream table.
Ironic, isn't it, that their commentary is magic, but none of them are commentating this time around.
Oh, well, they're all happy to be on the floor.
Or maybe it's just around like, so like friendship is magic and commentary is magic, and that's why we're commentating.
The friends of Sim are doing the commentary. Yeah, there you go. Could be. So anyway, if you, like us, are not able to go to the con, then, well, rest assured there'll be a weekend full of games to see on Twitch.
Yeah. And we'll be happy to have you there.
Absolutely. The schedule is known. It was dropped in the CCG Discord a while ago, and surely you can find it on Everfree's website as well.
I believe Continentals happen on Saturday, right?
Yes, it's Harmony on Friday, and then several limited events as well, and then Continentals is pretty much the whole day Saturday, and a little bit on Sunday as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, thank you all for showing up, giving us your beautiful commentary, if you will. Per usual, the stream's going to be up on our YouTube channel Monday at noon, and you can also go there to find all of our previous content. Otherwise, 2 weeks from now, we might be doing this again. Given it'll be the week before Everfree, we might maybe do a little preview as well. Possibly, who knows?
Yeah, we'll see.
But 2 weeks from now, for sure, we'll be back with another stream. Until then, I have been Cursor Coach.
And I've been Hithroc.
And we'll see you then.
Bye.